For more than 2 decades, the electromagnetic railgun was described as the weapon of the future, a technology that always seemed just out of reach. The United States Navy invested billions into its development, only to shut the program down in 2022 after running into severe engineering and physical limitations. Most of the world assumed the concept had failed. China believed this meant they had effectively won the race for next-generation naval dominance. That assumption turned out to be wrong. While Washington quietly closed its research programs, Tokyo quietly began advancing its own. Japan's Acquisition, Technology and Logistics Agency took the abandoned idea and refined it step by step. And by early 2026, Japan had not only produced a functional railgun, they had built something far more strategically significant. This is no longer just a powerful weapon mounted on a ship. It represents the emergence of a new type of defense system, a space-connected kinetic shield. By combining Japan's precision engineering with real-time intelligence from U.S. space surveillance systems, this technology has reshaped the balance of power. Together, these systems now threaten to neutralize even Mach 5 hypersonic missiles, a shift with consequences that could redefine military strategy across the Pacific. To understand why this matters so much in 2026, it helps to look at what Japan achieved while other nations focused on lasers or missile expansion. Japan succeeded in something previously thought nearly impossible, conducting reliable, repeatable railgun firings at sea. The challenge was never just firing once, it was sustaining repeated use without destroying the barrel, the electronics, or the platform itself. Unlike conventional artillery that relies on explosives, railguns use electricity alone. A massive electrical current passes through parallel rails, creating a magnetic field powerful enough to accelerate a metal projectile to hypersonic velocity within milliseconds. The technical difficulty is extreme. The heat, vibration, and electromagnetic forces involved can easily damage the system. Japan's successful trials aboard the test vessel JS Asuka demonstrated they had solved these durability problems. Their prototype fired a 40mm projectile using around 5 megajoules of energy, not as a lab experiment, but as a functional naval weapon. Even more impressive was how they stabilized it. Reports suggest Japanese engineers adapted advanced seismic dampening techniques, the same technologies used to protect skyscrapers in earthquake zones, to absorb recoil and vibration. In effect, they made the weapon resistant to its own destructive forces. But even the fastest projectile is useless if it cannot accurately intercept a moving target. That's where the United States enters the equation. A railgun projectile has no onboard guidance, no steering, no intelligence. Once fired, it follows pure physics. To intercept a hypersonic target, the firing solution must be mathematically perfect before launch. Traditional ship radars are limited by the horizon. By the time they detect incoming hypersonic threats, reaction time is often insufficient. The solution comes from space. The U.S. Space Force has deployed advanced tracking satellites designed to detect and follow the heat signatures of hypersonic weapons from launch onward. Under updated defense cooperation agreements between the U.S. and Japan, this targeting data is now transmitted directly to Japanese ships in real time. The result is a system where American satellites provide the eyes and Japanese railguns deliver the strike. What was once a dumb projectile becomes part of an intelligent, networked interception system. The performance numbers reveal why this is so disruptive. Japan's prototype achieved muzzle velocities around 2,130 meters per second, approximately Mach 6.5. Operational versions are expected to exceed that. And unlike interceptor missiles that cost millions per unit, a railgun projectile contains no explosives and can be manufactured cheaply. At these speeds, kinetic energy alone is sufficient to obliterate a target on impact. This changes the economics of warfare. If an enemy launches large numbers of drones or cruise missiles, traditional defense systems quickly become financially unsustainable. Railgun ammunition is compact, inert, and affordable. A ship that once carried dozens of interceptors can now carry hundreds or even thousands of projectiles. As long as power is available, the system can continue firing. This technology is not emerging in isolation. It coincides with a broader transformation in Japan's defense posture. In 2026, Japan approved one of the largest defense budgets in its history, exceeding 9 trillion yen for the fiscal year as part of a long-term military expansion strategy. A significant portion of this investment focuses on protecting Japan's island chains and strengthening its ability to deter regional threats. For nations across the Pacific, including Australia and the Philippines, this development has enormous implications. A fleet equipped with space-linked railguns functions as a mobile defensive barrier, limiting the effectiveness of hypersonic intimidation strategies. But the implications go beyond defense. Due to its range and speed, the railgun also introduces potential offensive capabilities, allowing strikes against distant targets without deploying traditional missile systems. The public unveiling of this technology is more than an announcement of a new weapon. It signals that the hypersonic age, once expected to favor rival powers, may already be losing its advantage. Billions invested in hypersonic platforms could now be undermined by a far cheaper, physics-based interceptor. The fusion of American space dominance and Japanese engineering precision has created a technological gap that cannot be closed quickly. In 2026, the world's oceans are now patrolled by a new type of power, electric, silent, and capable of striking at several times the speed of sound. Japan's long-dormant military technological potential has reawakened, and this time, it's powered by lightning. What makes this moment even more significant is how quietly it happened. There were no global press tours, no dramatic unveilings, no viral marketing campaigns. Japan's approach has been deliberate, cautious, almost invisible to the wider public. While the world focused on artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, and consumer technology, one of the most disruptive military technologies of the decade was developing behind closed doors. By the time the international community fully noticed, the system had already moved from theory to deployment. That element of surprise alone has reshaped strategic calculations across multiple regions, and this raises a deeper question about the future of technological power. The era of dominance may no longer belong to the countries that build the biggest weapons, but to those that integrate systems most intelligently. Space surveillance, data networks, precision engineering, and real-time coordination. Japan's railgun is not just a weapon, it is a symbol of a new kind of warfare where speed, information, and integration matter more than brute force. The world is entering a phase where conflicts may be decided before the first missile even launches, and the balance of power may already be shifting. But the question remains open. Is the railgun truly the ultimate defensive system, or will new countermeasures eventually emerge? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe and like, making it easier for you to keep up with the latest global news in technology and innovation.